good job. What's up, vampire? I said, what's up, vampire?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I know.
Or I heard you, I didn't know you.
No, who else would you do? See, probably has a lot.
Anybody could be a damn man.
That's how you know you and I are cool. When I'm saying shit like that.
Okay. I can take over that.
What is he doing it abroad?
They do
Studying abroad?
no. So for his advertising
Yeah.
company, they like you're allowed to take a month and work in a different country, and they have a place like a department in Ireland. So he's there in Dublin for the rest of this month.
What does he do for advertising?
Just helps out with medical and stuff. They used to do some glimmer scenes and work, but come back to Boston.
Yeah, well, either way, it's entertainment, baby. We're in the entertainment business.
Team Canada forward and tournament MVP Nathan MacKinnon to take your questions. Once again, we have mic holders both sides of the room. Please raise your hand and wait for the microphone. We'll start left side, front row.
Nate, your first best on best, to end it this way, to be the MVP, and to do it with your two Nova Scotia Mafia guys. Just what's going through your mind?
Yeah, it was fun. I think the Four Nations kind of caught on fire. I'm sure everyone didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, questions about it being an all-star game, things like that. Obviously, people didn't really know, the players' mindsets coming in, and rightfully so. You never really know, but guys took this very seriously when you represent your country. So yeah, obviously, all the guys, egoless, selfless. Really cool to be a part of a group like that.
Other questions for Nate? Left side, front row.
After last Saturday's game, Matthew Tkachuk said it's our time. What does it mean to you? What kind of team did you guys have here to battle that narrative and make it your time?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously, I thought we played a really good game, and over time they kind of took over, honestly, and Binnington was unbelievable. The saves he was making, and we just needed kind of one look. And, Connor was very open, so that was nice. Usually when he's that open, it's in the net, so very exciting. And, I think, we're neck and neck, USA and Canada, but it feels good to, be on top this time.
Standing on the far left.
Nate, do you have a sense of what this might mean for people at home in the sense of, coming off back-to-back World Junior disappointments and then getting here and political tensions between both countries, which I know you guys have tried to stay out of, but just a sense of what, as a country, this win would mean tonight?
Yeah, I think just obviously I don't know much about politics, but we know that USA, Canada, it's kind of a thing right now, and obviously we're playing against each other in a sport, and football's over and basketball's not really going on, so I think this tournament caught on fire, like I said. So really exciting to be a part of it, and obviously representing our country and trying to grow the sport. I think we did a great job. Naturally, we're all very invested naturally, and definitely a cool event to be a part of.
Standing on the left.
Nathan, how important you consider this win to Canadian hockey and the reputation of Canadian hockey in general? Thank you. Yeah,
I mean, if they beat us tonight, I don't think a reputation would have taken a huge hit. They're an amazing team. They were the favorites coming in. So, but obviously, we definitely pride ourselves off of being the best hockey nation, and it's nice to for another year at least we have some bragging rights, and got to go do it again next February.
Left side, third row.
And Nate, did this game play out the way you kind of expected? Back and forth, no one pulls away. Is that what you expected tonight?
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many good players on each side. For anyone to pull away would have been unexpected. Just tight game as we thought, and we definitely got bailed out a little bit by Binner in the overtime, and took advantage of it.
Left side, fourth row.
Nathan, in 2010, the winning goal in overtime was Sidney. 15 years later, it's Connor. Is it kind of perfect Hollywood script?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Connor's the best player in our game, and for him to put it in like that, and in such a intense atmosphere, obviously in a hostile environment for Canadians, was special. And hopefully he can do that again next year too.
Left side, standing.
Nate, you've mentioned Binnington a couple of times and what he did in overtime. Just can you describe the lift the team got when he made those saves, and how you guys felt for him? A lot of people were doubting his ability coming into this tournament, and he came up at the biggest moment when you guys needed him. Yeah, I mean, I think he might have had a shutout here when he won the Stanley Cup, Game 7. So, we all thought he would be amazing tonight. Even privately, we were talking, and we expected a great game out of him, and we got one. So
very thankful for that.
Right side standing.
Nathan, it seems like level of physicality, forecheck, possession of the puck, all were obviously much better than on Saturday. What was the intentionality when it came to bringing the game a little bit more to the Americans and carrying the play a little bit more?
Yeah, I think the forecheck's a huge thing. They had 4 or 5 over the puck the whole night, so there's nothing going on in the rush too much. Like I've said before, all the best players in the world checking as hard as they possibly can is tough to generate. So we didn't have a ton of chances, but we converted when we needed to.
Standing on the right again.
Nate, what does this mean? This tournament in general, and the touches that Hockey Canada has, the program has, as you look towards the Olympics. Just you guys don't get a lot of time together. Now you've sort of had this mini tournament as you pivot to Italy.
Yeah, this was very important. I think even for a lot of young guys, but I mean, my 12th year, I've never played best on best. I've missed the last 2. A lot of guys have. So I think it's really important just to be a part of this and get a feel for it. Definitely felt like a little kid coming to this tournament. I didn't know what to expect. Didn't know where you really fit in. So I think a year from now, it'll be a lot more comfortable for everybody. So definitely thankful that this was put on. And, it's a huge deal today. And I think also just going forward with the Olympics, it's a just being part of Canada and getting that feel for it is important.
Thanks a lot, Nate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Canada head coach John Cooper will be along shortly.
I wish I did.
Boston and Ottawa. They got some blows in. Between Brad and Travis and everyone.
blame him for that. Good try. Canada head coach John Cooper to take your questions. Once again, please raise your hand and wait for the microphone. Who'd like to start? Left side standing.
Two questions. Is that coffee in the cup there, John?
You know what it is? It's Canadian. It was made in Canada.
What did you learn about Connor McDavid over the last 10 days or so that you didn't already know?
Well, I'm going to say this about Connor, but I'm going to say it about the group. And if you've ever been in coaching and you coach a team, and I don't like to say first, second, third, fourth line. Everybody's a line on their team. Everybody has a role. But fourth liners play different than first liners. And Connor McDavid being clearly one of, if not the best player in the world. And I can say this about all those guys. They all played with their talent, but they all played with a mentality of fourth liners. They did. And everybody, the egos, there were none. And guys like Connor who could stroll in and say, give me the ice, give me this, give me that, never. And when you have leaders and players of his talent, cheers loud for the guys that are playing in front of him, while he's not on the ice, it kind of says something about how special he is. And that was what was special about this team.
Left side, second row.
John, you had Mitch and Connor together to start, and then you broke them up, and then tonight you put them back together. Can you kind of seem to work at the end there? Can you kind of walk through what you were thinking in making those moves through the tournament?
Well, it was, when you come into these short tournaments, you're trying to put players in position to succeed. The first move was Braden Point's been a center all his life. And I thought putting Point with McDavid was going to help the speed factor. And it was just whether Point was going to be comfortable playing the wing. And he surely was, and he proved that. And so, Stoney was, I thought that line had great chemistry, but, ultimately in the end, as that game went on, Mitch had legs tonight, and that kid can make plays. And as we saw tonight, he just needed one chance to make a play, and he did. And just, it comes down to a gut feel and how the guys are going. And I felt that those three guys could do it, and they did.
Right side, front row.
John, Nate, with the tournament MVP, just how did his performance impact what you guys were able to do?
Again, you talk about, McDavid's selflessness. McKinnon was the same. And they just had this attitude of, it was just all about the team. Nothing individual ever came out of like, put me out here, give me this moment. They just cheered for the guys that were in that moment. And then when you get your chance, he delivered. And so it was to see he and Sid have the chemistry they had and do the things they did is, they're just special players. And Mac was one of them that it was just all about winning. And it didn't matter what was going to be done. And I can't say enough about him. And then when we needed him to deliver, he did. And that's what makes, special players great.
Stay in that same row.
John, can you sense what this win tonight would have meant?
Got to sip a little Canada.
Oh, I'm jealous. Can you sense what this win might have meant back home for a number of reasons? I mean, Canadian junior team losing back-to-back years in the quarterfinals, and the country's national pride a bit dented from that as far as its sport. Political tensions really boiling over the last few days, just everything combined. And I know you tried not to have that go into your room before a game like this, but now that it's over, can you sense the magnitude of this victory?
Well, I just hope Canada's proud, because every player in that room is proud to be a Canadian. And yeah, did we need a win? Not only like our team, but Canada needed a win. And the players bared that on their shoulders, and they took it seriously. And this one was different. This wasn't a win for themselves. This was a win for 40+ million people. And the guys knew it, and they delivered.
We'll take a few more. Standing on the right.
John, just bigger picture, looking ahead 12 months, how important was it for the program to have these touches with these guys? I know it's not going to be the same team, but just as you look towards Italy.
Well, for me, it's immeasurable what's gone on here. And to be around this group and understand who we have, how they can play, what they can do, build the relationships, which I think is a massive, probably underscored part of everything that goes into it. We're just that much farther ahead, and it was talked about tonight. After is, how much this tournament will help us moving forward as a group, and myself personally. So it was a massive success all the way around, and for moving on to Milan, this was a big step forward.
Left side, front row.
John, we were lucky to be exposed to some of the things you said to your team throughout this tournament. One of them was play the right way, the Canadian way. What does that mean?
So, when the puck is on your stick for literally, if you were to do a stopwatch, it's what for the best players, 10, 15, 20 seconds in a game. And it's what are you doing the time the puck's not on your stick? And that's the selfless acts that go into superstars that are used to having it on their stick. And they did all the right things. They checked. And you have to check. And for this group of players and the talent level they have, and for them to do what they did, away from the puck. I mean, that's the Canadian way. That's walking into a restaurant and opening the door for somebody else to walk in first. That's what it's the Canadian way. And they couldn't be more proud.
We'll take two more. Left side, front row.
John, Crosby's been in situations like this before, overtime, going for goal. Did he say anything in the room before that overtime or do anything to benefit your group with that experience?
Oh, he's done so much to benefit our group. I have to save that for the book one day. What an incredible leader. Even when you show him, situations he was put in video and maybe you could have done something differently, and he would I think the team should see this. Like, they should see me make an error. And you think about somebody of his stature, he wants the players to learn, like, hey, maybe I make mistakes too. But I want them to see me make mistakes, because that's what leaders do. And it was just little things like that just, you take a step back and go, wow, I see why every time he puts the Canadian jersey on, he's standing on the podium that's just a little bit higher than everybody else.
Last one, right side, third row.
John, we saw you have a little moment with Jordan Binnington after the goal. You stood up for him after the game against the USA when a lot of the country was kind of doubting whether he should be back in there. Take us through his 3 or 4 game-saving saves in overtime and how you digested them, and B, just, the extent to which, he probably shut up some doubters tonight.
Well, I mean, if we can be perfectly honest, probably the most scrutinized position going into this tournament was goaltending. And for me, it was, you've got your guy and you're rolling with your guy. And I never doubted 1 ounce about ever pulling him, ever taking him out of a game, ever, losing confidence in him, because his gamemanship, his ability to rise at the big moment, and don't judge him for, what if you can sit here and say, well, one slipped by him in the Sweden game. Well, you know what he did? He made the big save in overtime. And don't judge him for, okay, we lost to the U.S. and did that hurt? It did. But it wasn't the winner-take-all game. And when, we get the big lead against Finland, and he doesn't have to really do much for 55 minutes, but then at the end, he's got to help bail us out, and he does it. And then even tonight, were there stressful moments for both goalies during the game? For sure there were. But it wasn't somewhere where, if this game was in one in regulation, we were going to sit there and say, Jordan Binnington saved the game. But when it came to overtime and we needed him most, make the saves you're supposed to, and then make a few that you're not. And he saved his best for last. And that's what winners do. And there wasn't a chance I was not going to back the winner.
Thanks a lot, John. Congratulations. That concludes Four Nations Face-Off media availabilities. Thanks so much.